So just one, let me just come in here. Sai Deepak, look, we can of course have this hanging match between the BJP and the Congress till the cows come home. But I want to ask you a couple of specific questions that I raised. Does being a member, let's say that the Bajrang Dal is not an organization that Sanjay Jha and his party recognize as working within the boundaries of Indian democracy. Let's for a moment recognize and accept the Congress proposition. But does being a member of the Bajrang Dal lessen the gravity of the hate crime against Harsha? And I want to ask you, is violence being used to dismantle Hindutva today?
So if you remember, Rahul, in the last debate on the same hijab controversy, I specifically pointed out that this region is highly radicalized and volatile as a consequence of offshoots of Simi operating from behind the scenes, and even, let's say, they've come to the fore. And what you've seen is the exact apprehension playing itself out. This clearly tells you the manufactured nature of the controversy. But for a moment, let's actually keep the blessed hijab on the side. A Hindu boy, 26-year-old boy, has just died. His mother is wailing, and we are fighting over politics. And let me say this bluntly, this was not a political murder, this was a religiously motivated assassination. There, I've said it. A Hindu was killed for being an assertive Hindu because his heart effectively was on the right side, and the man wanted to assert his Hindu identity and specifically was asking for equal treatment. Harsha was not asking for the exclusive right of saffron shawls or towels to be worn in school and hijab to be banned. In fact, he was asking for a uniform code. So this is the consequence for a Hindu asking for parity in treatment. Second, I have to say this. Condemnation, apparently, in the language of Mr. Jha, starts by expressing condolence and then goes on to say, but you know, CIA effectively called this organization a terrorist organization or a militant organization. Well, therefore, that's how exactly I'll monkey balance this entire condolence by starting with a condolence message and then say, well, he was a member of this particular organization, and then all of us are expected to buy this hogwash. I have to say this aloud. The fact of the matter is systematic dehumanization of Hindus who are assertive Hindus and therefore members of any party or organization that represents this particular ideology is the reason that this particular boy was murdered in broad daylight. And you have so-called editors such as Shekhar Gupta specifically highlighting murder in single quotes as if questioning the fact that this was a murder. So this is the nature of the creature or the devil that you're dealing with. I refuse to buy that all of this is political. This is fundamentally religious. And therefore, please, let's accept this. Let's at least accept the realities and facts for what they are. You are looking at the third wave of radicalization, and that is the fact of the matter. Those organizations responsible for this must be banned. People have been asking for the banning of the PFI from across the board, from Kerala to Karnataka and other places. How many more murders does the government at the state level and the union level need before they start acting on these urges, on these exhortations? I can't say this enough. We can keep playing these political games, but people who are assertive Hindus are being silenced systematically. It's not just the foot soldier, but people who also represent that particular ideology who are at serious risk. A couple of months ago, we had this news of the RSS headquarters being the subject of some kind of an attack. There were terror threats being issued. This is the nature of the creature. Why do we call this a political murder? This was not a political murder. This was religious. Can anybody say that the hijab controversy is merely political? It is religious. What did he do? Please tell me something. If somebody is a member of the VHP or the BJP or the RSS or let's say the Bajrang Dal, what crime have they committed? If somebody can be a member of the AIMIM, which effectively represents the party of the Razakars, I say this, why can't anybody be a member of the BJP, RSS or any other organization that represents Hindutva? I just don't understand. So I'm sorry to say, I refuse to buy this hogwash. Anybody who minces words in expressing condemnation for this particular broad daylight religious murder is a hypocrite of the first order and is fundamentally an anti-Hindu regardless of his religious affiliation. Whether he's a Hindu or a Muslim doesn't matter. He has become a Hindu hater unconsciously and subconsciously. That is a fact. And I have to say this once more. If the state continues to turn a blind eye to these kind of broad daylight murders, then there will come a point where the community that has just suffered another murder will have to look for options outside the state to protect itself, because the state comes in only after everything is done, and the legal system is not proving to be a sufficient deterrent.
Okay, well, let's not give people ideas. Just 1 second. Let's not give people ideas. Just 1 minute. Sanjay Jha, 1 second, please. Let me just step in here. I need to make a couple of statements. 1 minute. 1 minute. I'll come back to you. Just give me 30 seconds. I just want to say 3 things, viewers. Mr. Shekhar Gupta's name was taken here. He's not here to defend himself. He needs to obviously respond to Sai Deepak, and they can have that parallel conversation. So Times Now doesn't take any responsibility for the question, for the point that was directed at Shekhar Gupta here right now. Secondly, viewers, let me just put it on record that the police have arrested 3 individuals. The motives of the crime are being ascertained. We just spoke with the area's topmost police officer just about 20 minutes ago, and he was giving us an idea. There is an apprehension that this particular crime was religiously motivated, but I'm not going to conclusively say that right now, because the police themselves are stopping short of making that unequivocal clarification. As far as the other statement that is concerned about Mr. Sanjay Jha trying to perhaps suggest that the life of a Bajrang Dal activist is somehow of a lesser consequence. I think Mr. Secondly, viewers, let me just put it on record that the police have arrested 3 individuals. The motives of the crime are being ascertained. We just spoke with the area's topmost police officer just about 20 minutes ago, and he was giving us an idea. There is an apprehension that this particular crime was religiously motivated, but I'm not going to conclusively say that right now, because the police themselves are stopping short of making that unequivocal clarification. As far as the other statement that is concerned about Mr. Sanjay Jha trying to perhaps suggest that the life of a Bajrang Dal activist is somehow of a lesser consequence. I think, Mr. Jha, you need to respond to that, because even I sort of found that slightly, in fact, quite troublesome.
Okay, so let me quickly respond. I want to tell you, Rahul, I come on your show because 99.99% of the time we have had conversations where there has not been an outrageous, defamatory, or libellous statement made.
Sure.
What I've just heard from the advocate here, I've never encountered him before, is an extremely serious charge, and I do intend to follow this up, because you know what he's done? He's twisted my statement. He's tried to categorize me, which is what these people do anyway. And end of day, I will definitely pursue what I will believe will be the logical consequence of a very unfair, blatant, and in my opinion, an orchestrated attempt to frame somebody.
I dare you. Please go ahead. I dare you.
Okay, 1 second. I didn't interrupt you. Let me speak. Number 2, very important to tell your viewers on your show, Rahul, that a lot of people who come on the show, including this guy, Sai Deepak, are actually people who are dangerous to our society. This man is a danger to our society because he's condemned.
You've opened yourself to a fantastic case here. Great. Here comes a legal notice your way. Fantastic.
Where is the charge sheet? Where is the charge sheet on the basis of which he's made allegations against a community? Where is the charge sheet on the basis of which he's actually made a very strong statement?
So let's not have a debate on this issue at all until the charge sheet is filed. Is that your argument?
He has been arrested. Does he even know what he's talking about?
Okay, let him finish.
The prime accused in the murder of Harsha is named a man named Kashif.
No, 1 second. Nupur Sharma, let him finish. Let him finish.
I think he missed the point.
Okay, let him finish. The point is that
he's not even up to date on the facts.
Maybe Sanjay Jha, you just need to.
His point. You can't be sitting on your channel and
let him get his facts straight.
That's his prerogative, but I just.
His facts straight.
Sanjay Jha, just a couple of things. Look, you may not be up to the facts in this matter. There have been 3 arrests.
Rahul, my last line, and I'm done. I want
like
to
a
say
former party, he's behind on the learning curve.
This man is masquerading, trying to be a pro-majority supporter, but these are the dangers to our society. They divide us.
Thank you. You've just invited us as a legal notice your way. Come on, let's take notices. I'm happy to do so.
Okay,
I'm happy to do so.
Who hijacked the plane out of
I'm happy to do so.
Okay.
1 second, Rahul. He belongs to a party.
Nupur Sharma,
He belongs to a party which
let
awarded
Sai Deepak speak for himself.
And he goes on to make the statement. I'm happy to
Allow me
take
just 5
notices
seconds.
with him.
One
No,
second.
I just have one thing to say to him.
No, one second. Forget that. I don't want to get down this
I just
political
have one
sideshow
thing.
right
No,
now.
he
Let
belongs to a
Sai
party.
Deepak
One second,
respond
Rahul.
to Sanjay
He
Jha. 1
belongs to a
minute,
party.
please.
He
Please.
belongs to a party.
It doesn't matter which party he
seconds,
belongs to. I'm
Rahul.
just saying. I don't want
2
the BJP
seconds,
to
Rahul.
respond right now. I want Mr. J.
that-
Sai
it
Deepak to
matters.
respond to Sanjay Jha.
Let
Mr.
me
J. Sai
respond.
Deepak, please, I'll lower a
You
fader.
can't give
Yes.
tickets. You
1
can't
second,
give
please.
tickets.
Madam, please.
My position was very clear,
Yeah.
which is exactly what Rahul Shivshankar's impression was based on Mr. Sanjay Jha's statement that this particular content does not hold cut eyes because he starts by expressing a condolence and then goes on to drop a line about the Bajrangal being a militant terrorist organization. If that is defamation, well, Mr. Jha, on a public platform, this could be a danger to the society and whatnot. But that is actually textbook defamation. So I'm happy to trade legal notices. But the fact of the matter is this. The impression that his statement gave is that the death of a person belonging to a particular political organization is a lesser death. Therefore, someone belonging to these organizations are lesser mortals.
Well,
That's it.
viewers-
And that is the public impression that he's given.